I am now talking to an award-winning journalist as well as author, editor and boss of Beeld newspaper, Adriaan Basson. I'm wearing a DA hat to make you comfortable.
No.
Just to make you feel at home, here at Naspers. Doesn't it make sense? I didn't want to freak you out. The only other famous Basson is Dr. Death Wouter Basson. Is he your uncle?
No, he's not my uncle. Unfortunately, I'm not family with him or with Whitey Basson, the rich guy.
Oh, the rich guy. Yes, of course. Yes, Whitey Basson. There's a name for an apartheid beneficiary.
We are all family. I think, this idea that white people are Europeans is false. We are not Europeans. I mean, most white families, most Afrikaans families
what do you,
has
part
got
Shangaan?
Indian ancestral
Are you Sepedi? What?
No, I'm not Sepedi.
Wait, what? Why do you think everyone made such a big fuss about that Jan van Riebeeck story the president did?
There's no denying about the very hard times that South Africa suffered under colonialism and then apartheid. But I think it would be wrong to say that Afrikaans people identify with Jan van Riebeeck, and that's where I differ from some of the critics.
So you don't? No, that's true. And you can't generalize. I mean, because Van Riebeeck really was just a guy who built a spaza shop in someone else's house. What can the media do more to fight racism?
Sure, I think we should reflect the wide variety of voices and of opinions. I think our staff complement should be diverse. We should have different people working for us in our newsroom. And we shouldn't deny racism out there. We should write about it. We should criticize it, as Beeld did in the case of Steve Hofmeyr.
How do you be part of South Africa's wealthiest income group and still act like you're oppressed? That's what I don't understand about the Steve Hofmeyr Club.
No, and we do write about those things. I mean, there are people who feel that, and I think it's something to do with the lack of power after '94. That Afrikaners had political power, it was gone, and now they feel there's no one to speak for them. Martinez van Schalkwyk, can you believe that?
No, my God, guy. I don't know what happened there, but I mean, it's insane to say they lack of power. They just got a fair amount of power. Well, how is that now?
Well, I think people want to feel more appreciated sometimes and want to feel part of the country.
Group hug. I saw you were critical of that independent newspaper editors Karima Brown and Vokani Mde going on to the ANC party wearing ANC stuff. Why?
It makes me uncomfortable when editors, when necessary people go to a party rally dressed in party clothes and think there's nothing wrong with it. It's clear that those people identify, at least support that party.
Do you think your readership would prefer a good story about Jacob Zuma, the president, or a bad one? Be honest.
I think our readers would love a good story if he pays back the money, for example. That's a good story about the president. If President Zuma decides to pay back the money on Kanta.
But be honest. When Jacob Zuma does something totally crazy, your sales go through the roof, don't they?
I know the sales don't go through the roof. I do think people expect.
I mean, they at least get a bit of a hard on.
People expect us to be watchdogs, to be able to actually, expose things.
Everyone
so we're
knows
not there to tell the great
racist.
stories. I mean, if President Zuma plays chess with a child, I mean, that's nice, but that's not a front page story. Come on, I mean, that's not the role of the media. He's got enough PR people working for him and spin doctors.
It's a good story. The chess pieces are black and white. I mean, that's a good start.
Yes, and we did it, I think, on page 7, but it won't be page 1.
The majority of Afrikaans-speaking people in this country are black or coloured. So how many black journalists do you have at Beeld?
It's difficult to get black journalists who want to write in Afrikaans. There's just so many other options. But our sister newspaper in Cape Town, where the majority of black Afrikaans people live, have much more staff. So it's something we're definitely looking at and trying to address.
Will you be asking your white journalists to get tans to up the numbers?
No, I don't think so. That would be affronting.
No, please. No. I mean, Afrikaans, coloured, it's a very grey line.
It is, as I explained previously, but I won't, put that in my form.
Great. Well, I suggest your Facebook page with a Give Back the Farm option there. It's an app. You could have an app, a Beeld Farm Give Back app.
I'll try it out. Discuss it with my colleagues.
Viva! Have a nice day. Bye.
Viva, cheers.
Bye. Amandla. Yes. Yo, this guy smells like City Press.